Canada is undergoing a universal periodic review at the UN. Countries including Iran, Cuba, New Zealand and Norway have all expressed concern about human rights problems in Canada, especially with regard to the plight of Canadian aboriginals. However, Canada's pro-Zionist ambassador to the UN, Elissa Goldberg, has been rejecting these concerns, claiming that Canada is a democracy that can clean up its own backyard. Critics say that whenever the Harper government comes under criticism at the UN, that they try to deflect attention away from it by focusing on the alleged human rights records of the states making the criticisms.
Now, as far as the United Nations coming out and condemning Canada, yes, the standard response is, yes, we're not going to listen to you. Our ambassador is behaving like a stereotypical textbook Zionist. So when you see somebody from Canada go to these UN meetings and speak, do not think for 1 minute that this person is speaking for Canada. That speech was written by an Israeli or a pro-Israeli sycophant in the ministry. We are essentially a fascist state, or even a proto-fascist state at minimum. We have no freedom of speech in this country. Our civil rights are being eroded.
Critics say that Canada's controversial tar sands oil developments should be scrutinized by the international community as well, due to their devastating impact on Aboriginal peoples.
Then when we look at where the oil is coming from here in Canada, it's coming at the cost of killing First Nations downstream from our tar sands. So when we're going to be ethical, can we have the conversation of fish having cancer tumors? Can we have the conversation of having to import water to First Nations who can no longer do the hunting, the fishing that traditionally they used to do to survive?
The Harper government repeatedly suggests that Aboriginals don't need to turn to supranational human rights organizations as they have been doing, because the Canadian legal system can adequately address their concerns. However, that claim was brought into question when Human Rights Watch published a damning report in February, alleging that Canadian police had been abusing Aboriginal women. Joshua Blakeney, Press TV, Calgary.